I ain't hungry. First, I always say hungry dogs run fast. I ain't hungry. I'm starving.
Hurd takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in. Touchdown! Jalen Hurd.
When that cage opens up again, our teeth are snarling. We're drooling. We're ready. We're hungry, ready to hunt again.
Dallas. We hate you. Braves need to snow. The Eagles train to go. The Eagles win.
And again, and again, and again.
It ain't about them. It's about us. We play up to our potential. Each and every one of us together. Nobody can beat us. I promise you. Promise you.
What is up, my brews, my bird brews? We are back. It's another Speaking Birds. It's your boy Speaks. I'm joined here with the boys John and Clayton. What is up, fellas?
How we doing? Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah.
What's up? Great day to be an Eagles fan.
Oh, it's every week. We keep saying it. We keep doing it. The Eagles moved to 10-2 on the season. We go down to Baltimore and we beat a. People say that Baltimore is one of those teams. They're in contention. But look, now this team's an 8-5 team. I mean, I don't know. Fraud alert? I don't know. But the Eagles win. Guys, initial thoughts, initial reactions on the day.
Another slow start. Kind of didn't really get it going. Seemed like the defense kind of settled in the second quarter there again. They played well. Win's a win. Doesn't have to be pretty.
Yeah. Seems like how we're getting by nowadays. Win's a win. And, sorry, Clayton. Thoughts?
Oh, no, I mean, that was a quality win, right? That felt like a playoff game, and we went into enemy territory and handled our business. I mean, yeah, it was a slow start, which, I mean, at this point, this is a Super Bowl team that they're saying, was on the other side of us here in the Ravens. Maybe a slow start isn't going to sink us. I mean, because we started slow, spotted them 9 points, and then fucked them up the rest of the way. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not as big a deal as everybody's making it out to be. I would like to see us get, started quicker, but I don't know.
Yeah. And just before we get to in here, just a brief moment of silence, if we could, for Justin Tucker's career. I mean, we kind of talked about it, me and John, before we hopped in. Like, they left, what was it, like 7 points on the board, and sure, I mean, we won by 7, more than 7, but that's like, those were huge momentum stalls for that Baltimore team. I mean, they're driving, we hold them, miss field goal.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the one was that super long drive. I think it was the third quarter.
Yeah.
I think they had the ball for like 11 minutes in that drive. But, definitely a momentum stop, and Justin Tucker seems to be pretty washed at this point.
Yeah, pretty cooked.
Yeah. Looking at the box score, just on a brief overview, let's see here. We had 252 total yards, Ravens 372, passing yards we had 112. Ravens had 206, rushing yards we had 140 to their 166. 4.7 yards per play on our end to their 5.2. So if you look at it, I mean, we I don't know, it looks like a game they should have won, but we come out here gutsy as always and get the dub. Get the freaking dub.
Also, that last drive in garbage time really skewed their stats.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah. Cause it did. And not to jump right into the negative, but we got to clean up that garbage time stuff. Like, was it against the Rams where we let them drive down? We just completely give up. And sure, the game is out of reach, but not mathematically at that point. They score a touchdown. They have to onside. We have to go through an onside kick. I don't know. I just feel like we need to tighten up in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems like the guys were tired there on that last play where Lamar really drove down. You see Carter, he didn't even try. He had already quit on the play. Now he's probably played every snap of the game. So
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Clean it up.
Every snap of the game for the last 3 weeks, I swear, man, that guy hasn't come off the field.
Yeah, he's really he really improved his conditioning. He's the guy. And yeah, let's jump into Carter. I mean, dude, the guy is insane. I mean, you watch him, he just imposes his will. What was that one sweep? He read it perfectly, just sniffs it out, tackles the guy. I mean, look, this guy is just a beast. Absolute beast.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the whole defensive line. I feel like even though a lot of times we're only rushing 4, they got a lot of pressure there. Had Jackson moving around. So, but yeah, Carter is, I mean, he's an animal. And plus, he's being held all game. I mean, if I knew how to put a highlight reel of holds together, I mean, I would do that because, I mean, there's at least 10 or more easily.
Yeah, on that Lamar scramble. He got pretty badly bear hugged. And like I don't know, I think at some point, I mean, is there a way to coach a player up on? Obviously, you don't want him flopping or being one of these players that like calls for a foul every time, or a penalty. But like, I don't know. I mean, is there a way to maybe draw something out? Because I mean, if you're getting held every time,
I mean, there was a few of them where he definitely had his hands up. There's one you
Yeah.
can see his shirt's getting ripped. You know what I mean? So, go ahead, Clayton.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's throwing his hands up, trying to
Yeah.
get the attention. He's going up to the refs afterwards too, especially on the egregious ones, and asking the ref like, what the hell, what are you guys looking at?
right?
And they're not giving it, and it's to the point where you don't want to be making it where it affects your rep. You don't want to be throwing your hands up to where it's affecting your rep. I think he's just kind of dealt or coming to the realization, look, man, I'm gonna get held every single snap.
Yeah,
Damn near. I'm going to get double teamed damn near every single snap. It doesn't matter what they do, it matters what I do. And that's 100% true. It only matters what he does. If he gives up on it, then he loses the rep. But if he continues to fight through it, even if he's being held, it's still taking 2 people off him, and he's still making his way into the backfield. Like, he's being held and double teamed, and he's still pressuring, knocking these guys off of their spot. Like, he knocked Lamar off his spot at least 4 times tonight, and he was held horribly on 2 of them. One was the one that John was just talking about. His shirt was being ripped off him.
yeah, yeah. No, maybe it's a letter to the league thing, letter to the officials. I don't know.
Yeah. At
Do
this
they-
point, I don't know, because it's every week now. It's egregious. It's not. I could see if it's here and there, but like, I've been watching Carter exclusively the last 3 weeks, and I can tell you it's more often than not this guy is being held every play. Like, it's infuriating to watch, and I can only imagine as a player. But he to his credit, he stays cool and he keeps coming. He does not give up. He is a machine.
He is. Yeah, no, he's definitely becoming a centerpiece of this team. And now that we're talking about it, the officiating, on that garbage time Lamar scramble. Did you hear him? They're like, we got a flag, we got a flag, we got a flag. No flag. Like, it's like, there's tons of these. What'd you guys think of the officiating this game? I thought it was egregious.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're talking about the holds, but I think the Ravens were like, if they're one of the top, if not the top, penalized teams. And like, I think going into the 3rd or 4th quarter, they only had 1 penalty, which is kind of crazy, but the Eagles had, I don't know, a ton. So
Outside of the first quarter, we were on pace to have 24 called penalties against us. That was after the first quarter, if everything would have stayed the same. And it did pretty much. I mean, they were calling it left and right on us, nothing on them. And yeah, you're right, John. They were the number 1 most penalized team coming into the game, and they got 2, 3 penalties called against them.
I think it says on the box score here they had 4, but I don't feel like I remember 4 penalties.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I mean, the more I watch like the NFL as a product, like the product that's being put out, the more I'm like, I don't know. It just seems so. I don't know if this whole New York thing. I know New York's always been there on reviews and stuff, but it seems like, quote unquote, whoever this New York is, they are now starting to like officiate the game. And when I say that, I mean, you'll see no flag, and then all of a sudden, here comes the flag. It almost seems like they're calling down, or there's like an earpiece, with these referees, where now they're able to like come in late with a flag. Have you guys noticed that at all?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Go ahead, Clayton.
No, I was just saying, yeah, I've definitely noticed, especially to your point, the late flags. Like the stuff that's like, okay, the play's over, 1, 2, 3, 4, a flag comes down.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like,
And,
where'd that come from?
you're flagging something that happened at the beginning of the play. So fucking riddle me that one.
Yeah, so if we start doing that, and it's just like, Okay, so yeah, we get it. There's holding on 90% or every play. There's a penalty on every play. So we're just picking and choosing now. Like you guys are just trying to dictate the game, whichever way you see fit. I mean, that just to me is like that just seems grimy. That's not.
Well, I know we're an Eagles podcast here, but if you watch any of the Chiefs games, man, there's all kinds of weird shit that happens in them games with flags and shit. But another one I remember just that I was thinking about here is the Dallas Goddard getting held in the end zone. The guy had a shirt.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, and you're going to call that same thing earlier on Maddox, which kept the drive going and gave them points, but you're not going to call that in the end zone for the Eagles on Goddard. That's bullshit, dude. Like, if you're going to call it, just call it for both sides. That's where I'm at. Like,
Yeah,
I don't care how you call it. Just make it even to where you're calling it the exact same way for both teams. If it's shit calls, it's shit calls. Both teams are going to be affected by it. But if you're just going to pick and choose and it's only going to affect one side, one team, that's fucked to me, man. That's where you're going to start losing integrity of the game. You're going to start
Exactly.
people are going to start thinking, dude, this shit's rigged. This is boxing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to your point, it's like baseball. Like the umpire sets the strike zone, whether or not you like their vibe, whether or not you like where they set it, it's going to be the same for both teams.
Yeah.
And you have to adjust and play it. Okay, if you're calling ticky-tacky holds downfield on a receiver, as you know, then you got to do it for both teams, and you got to know, okay, hey, we can't get away with that this game because this officiating crew is going to call that. But it just seems, yeah, it seems lopsided. I don't know. For the last couple games, it seems like they really want this Eagles team to lose. And I know it's that tin hat, the aluminum helmet or whatever it is. We're Eagles fans, of course, we're going to think that way, but it really does look like they want the Eagles to lose these games, which I don't know.
Yeah, you got to beat the team you're playing, which tonight's one of the better teams in the NFL. Plus, beat the refs.
Yeah.
It's felt like that the last few weeks, man.
Yeah, but a win's a win. And
That's right.
And man, we got Saquon Barkley. I think that was like the one thing that, a lot of us were looking at, like Derrick Henry versus Saquon. And I don't know why Barkley won this matchup. And he's balling out.
I got to give it to Kellen Moore for staying with the run because he really didn't break any till about the fourth quarter here. So they just kept pounding it, which eventually hit one big. So
yeah,
a lot of credit to him
for sure, because we've had quite a few coordinators and play callers come through here that would have abandoned that, midway through the second quarter. They're like, all right, now we're just throwing it every single play, and we didn't. I mean, to his credit, he didn't do that. So. Good shit for him. Good shit for the line. And Saquon staying ready, and imposing their will. This was that's one of the other things I came away from this game. This was a physical ass game, man. Both teams were physical as hell. There was a lot of big hits in this game, and they were bullies. Guess what, dude? They just got bullied. Like we bullied them. We bullied the bullies.
Yeah. Sirianni said in his presser, he said he corrected a reporter. They had to match our physicality. I like that.
That's the truth too.
Yeah.
We got in there. They gave us their best 1-2 punch, dude. They threw their two haymakers. We just kept coming forward. We spotted you 9. Guess what? It's over. We're gonna score 24 unanswered on.
God, was that 24 unanswered? Man. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, like just sticking on Barkley for a little bit here. So the chase is on. He's currently on pace for 2,123 yards. And that would surpass Dickerson's record of 2,105 yards. That would be rushing yards per season. And this is basically me talking to myself here because we obviously see what Barkley's doing week in and week out, and it's winning us games and it's impressive. But I mean, yeah, I guess, to just like take a step back and like let this all sink in. I mean, I know, John, you read the stats every week, and like sometimes it just kind of like it doesn't even sink into me like when you're reading them. But like this guy is having a monster season, just a magical season. And yeah, like I said, I'm talking to myself because I sometimes don't like take a step back and let it sink in. But my God, to think that we could have, the
I don't. Not only that, I don't think there's going to be any load management because with Detroit still being basically a
yeah.
game ahead of us, you know what I mean? They're going to have to continue to play the starters through even week 17, you know what I mean, against the Giants. So he definitely has potential to hit over 2,000. That would be sick to see, in my
Well, I
opinion.
guess that's a question to the group here. Are we pedal down? We want to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Yeah, I just want to keep winning football games, and if it means Saquon goes over 2,000 and breaks all the records, I love it. And you're absolutely right, Alex. What you're saying here, everybody needs to step back and take a look at this and realize this is something that's historical. This is something that we're never going to see again in our lifetimes. There's a very real possibility you'll never see another running back have the season that Saquon is having right now, and he's having it with our Philadelphia Eagles. Like
Oh
I'm talking
God, I got chills.
any
I got
running
chills.
back in the league. This guy right here is on pace to do something that people thought would never happen. Like nobody thought that Dickerson rushing record would be broken, and he's there for it, man. Like he's coming for it, and it's incredible. I know there's only what I can't believe the season's already almost over. We got 5
I
games
know
left,
it happens so quick.
but we need to sit back and savor it, man. Savor, what Saquon's doing, what this line's doing, what this team's doing. This
Yeah,
is. I know the season moves quick, and as fans, we're always focusing on the next game too. But man, just to sit back and really take in everything, where we've come from since that 2-2 start to where we are now. What Saquon is doing, man, it's special. This is a special season, and we
yeah,
need to really just take a moment and drink that in and savor it.
yeah. Man, I agree. I love it. And then what do we think? If he continues on this path, you know, uh, MVP, is
It
he your
has to
league
be.
MVP?
I mean, if he breaks Dickerson's record, there's no doubt in my mind. But, traditionally they love to give it to a quarterback, so somehow they'll find a way to give it to a quarterback.
Well, think about that though for a second. I mean, like, okay, aside from I don't know what Josh Allen's doing up there in Buffalo right now.
19 or 18 touchdowns. That's it.
Yeah, and like you look at like I saw like Goff on the like graphic, like I don't know, and then you got Lamar who he Lamar'd himself, and then you got Henry, and look, if it's between Henry, Barkley came out head to head, won it. Lamar's I think dropped off with this game, so you basically have Goff and Allen.
Yeah, because Mahomes isn't having the Mahomesian like year. This is a
God,
down year for him.
if they gave it to Mahomes though, I mean, sure he's what 10-1, 11-1, but yeah, he's not lighting it up.
Honestly, in my opinion, this is where I land on the MVP. I know Saquon doesn't give a shit about it. All he cares about is winning. But if he breaks the Dickerson record, there's no way. It doesn't matter what any other QB did. That's historical. That's special. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to give him the MVP. Like that forces their hand. Anything short of that, I think it goes to a quarterback, and I think he's a lock for Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. 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 Here's the thing though. I know that he doesn't care about those individual awards, and that's great.
Mhm.
And they ask him about it, hey, I'm back in the locker room. He says all the right stuff. But at some point you gotta say, hey, I want this for the franchise. I want this for my guys, for the O line. Hey, it's okay. In my opinion, I think it's okay to want it, but maybe want it for everyone else. You know? Maybe that's a selfish take. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
Get it for your offensive line.
I was gonna say that's more his speed. He
Yeah.
doesn't really care about himself. But he would get it and then just dedicate it to the O line. Who helped him get there. That's the
And
type
Joe
of player and leader he is.
and Mara will never sleep again.
I think they're gonna fire what's his name? Joe Schoen up there.
Shane
Yeah.
Schoen or whatever it is. Yeah.
I would after that.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, okay, we're talking about the rushing. We're locked there. Let's talk about the passing game. How
I
do we
think
feel
it-
about the passing game in this this matchup?
Didn't really seem to get it going too much. I think, although at the end of the, I think it was the first half, I did realize that Hertz hit the 9 of his last 10 passes right before halftime. I believe that was.
Yeah.
AJ Brown only had 66 yards, 5 receptions, which I thought he had a little bit more than that, but
He was
I don't know,
impactful. Yeah, he was
yeah,
impactful.
for sure.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I want to overreact to it, but as I was driving home thinking about it, how many plays did we run compared to them? I feel like we weren't on the field all that often. I know in the third quarter we ran 6 plays.
I have it
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
It's
One
something
sec.
crazy like that. Like we weren't on the field, so I feel like it wasn't. We just couldn't get anything in a rhythm and going. When we did, it was in the second quarter there when we finally, had a bunch of drives and we were able to string it together. And then we came out in the second half. They have the ball. We stop them. We go 3 and out. They go on that huge drive. We go 3 and out. It was like we really didn't get on the field to get anything going. So
They
I'll
had
give it-
7. They had
Go ahead.
71 to our 54.
yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, I mean, it was hard to get anything, any rhythm or flow going, especially in that second half, that third quarter in particular. But I'm not worried about it because, like I said, this was a hostile environment. I mean, you guys, even John was saying, you don't see much green in that, not like we're used to seeing. Because
Right.
Philly
Burn a hole
fans
game, yeah.
usually Philly fans travel pretty well. But the Ravens have their own following too, and it's a strong fan base. So wasn't many Philly fans there. It was a hostile environment. A tough team. Everybody in the world except for Randy Moss picked the Baltimore Ravens to spank us.
So Randy picked the Eagles.
Yeah, he was the only one that I seen that picked the Eagles. Every
Good for
single
him.
other person that I seen. So all of ESPN's pregame, all of Fox's pregame, and all of CBS's pregame, all unanimous.
Clowns.
Ruben.
They're on the
Ruben
list. Give me that
Frank
list.
is on my list again.
Oh,
picking him.
Ruben.
Yeah, and then he comes on the after game and is like singing the praise. Like, no, Ruben. I commented. I was
Yeah,
like, no, Ruben, you need to shut your mouth and sit there and just look stupid, because you are stupid. I'm sick and tired of you picking against the Eagles and then going in there and licking their asshole whenever they win and prove you wrong. Like, no, you're not a fan. The same with and I hate shouting this dickhead out, but he said it again this week. Elliott Shore Parks. This
On
is
the
an
list.
acceptable loss. It's like, dude, what are you doing? And a shout out to his pod mate, James Seltzer, for telling him to shut up, that he sounds like an idiot every time he says it. It's not an acceptable loss, dude. We are Super Bowl contenders. There are no acceptable losses anymore, man. It doesn't matter who we're coming up against. It could be the Bills. It could be the Chiefs. It could be the Lions. It doesn't matter. It's not an acceptable loss, ever.
And I'll say this, let's say Smitty goes for this game. They want to load that box against Barkley. We're going to throw all over them.
Oh, yeah. And that, I heard a lot of people, being surprised that we didn't light up this, I think they have the 31st passing defense in the league. It's like, well, we're also down our wide receiver 2 is a huge part of this. And again, like I said, we really didn't have many opportunities to get into a rhythm and get shit going.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like
I
yeah,
don't
I
feel like
agree.
we ever got into tempo either. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Hurts really starts to get in a rhythm when he's in the tempo.
Yeah, that guy
throwing, so.
excels when we're going quick and he's out there just slinging it and reacting. He's good, man. That's where he thrives. He gets going. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. We never got into any kind of rhythm or tempo or anything. It was a weird offensive game. It was honestly a stellar defensive game. Like
Yeah,
that's my takeaway from it.
Yeah, that's where my hesitation comes from. I'm trying to like put like my finger on like this what I saw offensively, and I'm like, it just seemed clunky.
Uh-huh.
sometimes. I don't know. You miss AJ Brown deep. Well, first of all, the first possession, you're throwing at Covey. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like we gotta just like feed AJ Brown. I don't care if he's open or not. Throw it his way.
Well,
well,
yeah,
here
not
was
only that.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, you got Covey running you need 6 yards, and you got Covey running a 4 yard out. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
He's not
so
going
you're
to
not
get
even
those
going.
extra
Yeah,
two.
you're not
Yeah.
even
Double
and he's
covered,
double
too.
covered. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like
yeah.
4 foot tall, so he's not going to be breaking all these tackles for a first. But yeah, you missed it. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, your first play of the game goes for 13 yards, a handoff to Barkley, and then you throw it the rest of the quarter.
Well, he
Like,
gets
what are you doing,
He
dude?
gets Shipley the ball on the next play or whatever, like 2 plays later. I mean, look, I'm all for Shipley getting his reps, but like, come on, feed Barkley again.
Yeah. Don't. And that was a backwards pass too. I'm pretty sure, or it was close to. But
Yeah.
either way, I hate that shit. Like, run it until they stop you. You just ran 13 yards on that, dude. I'd run the same exact play. Get up to the line and run the same exact play again. If they stop it, okay. At that point, you're probably a little bit behind on second down. But when you go out and you throw it 3 straight times after that, and every single one is fucked, like, you're done, dude. You're okay. That drive's done. And then, of course, moving forward, we've seen the dumb shit. We would get a penalty or have a dumb, loss of yards play, get behind the sticks, and it's just the story of the first quarter for this team, and it has been all year. It's frustrating, but at least we've seen it against a good team today, like a team that everybody thinks is a Super Bowl contender. So there's no excuses here. We went out there, we shit the bed in the first quarter, and we ended up, stomping their nuts in.
Handling business. It just dawned on me too that somewhere in their script, in their scripted first series, throwing a screen to Shipley was on it. Throwing a screen to Shipley was on there. I don't know.
Shipley just being on the field is a little crazy because
Yeah,
you don't
that's
hardly
weird.
ever see him out there.
Right?
like that. That was something they prepared. They thought about.
They'll
that.
never expect it. They'll never
They'll
expect
never
it.
expect it. Smartest man in the room. Man, yeah. And what else here? We got Coop
Oh,
just coming up and laying the stick. Well, maybe not laying the stick, tackling Henry.
That was one of the best tackles I've seen all year.
say that's a textbook form tackle right there.
Oh yeah. He was pumped. They got the sideline pumped. They got this new little dance I've started doing as well. You guys notice that? Kind of waving them off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Handing
wondering
them
what
off.
that was. Is
I
that
don't
like a
know.
TikTok? Is that something off of TikTok, or they
I
make
have
that up?
no
I don't.
idea.
I have no idea where that came from, but I did notice that.
God, I hope it's not from TikTok.
Me too.
But anyway, so have you guys seen the it's like I don't know, there's like reels out there where it's the Michael Jackson Billie Jean, but it's Cooper DeJean is not a safety. And they like, they do whatever. So I guess I read how he requested that song in the locker room.
Oh
Immediately
shit!
Yeah, immediately once the team got back. So I guess they put on Michael Jackson. Man, this team is fired up for him. And man, it just goes like to kind of like continue our conversation last time on Howie and this culture. Like everyone's playing for themselves. Like everyone's having a good time. It's the vibes, and the vibes are gonna help us down the stretch. And man, they're so good. They're so good. And you demoralize this Ravens team. They're going into a bye on this loss at home. Whew.
Yeah,
I got
Matt,
one.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Good. No, you
No,
got
I was gonna say I was just gonna finish his point there. Like, yeah, dude, like going into a bye, getting beat down in a game that everybody picked you to win, that you're supposed to win, that you needed to win more than the other team did against the fellow, powerhouse Super Bowl contender. That's embarrassing. You're,
Yeah.
in your own house there, and yeah, who knows? It may torpedo their season because. I mean, we got the Steelers, so I think we can beat the Steelers, but they're really far back on them still. They're, if we beat them and they went out, or the Ravens went out and we beat the Steelers, it's going to be a foot race to get there. So
Yeah,
we fucked them.
Yeah, that kind of reminded me of a point that I wanted to bring up in terms of like scheduled losses and acceptable losses. And what you just said, this loss could torpedo their season. Now, I'm never one for accepting a loss or saying that, you should lose. But there is a thing, in my opinion, as a good loss. Not saying that it was to be that way for any team. But when you're kind of complacent late in the season, you got some talent, but you really need to like get kind of like a kick in the back, kick in the rear end. What do you guys think about that? Like a not like a good loss. You know what I'm saying?
I hate it. I just want to keep stomping people out, but I know what you're saying. Like you try to get one and just, I guess, what am I looking for? Just get refocused. You know what I mean?
I think we had one in 2008 when we went on that championship run. We were kind of looking complacent, and like when we met the Cardinals in the championship game, that's what I meant. But I think we were kind of getting complacent towards the end of the season, and we had like this sort of loss. And I remember looking at it like, yeah, that loss stings, but like this might be what the team needs. And I think we went on to like put on a tear. So there might be, I don't know, maybe for Baltimore, this is that loss.
Maybe it could be. It could be. Yeah, the lightning rod that wakes everybody up. Like, dude, the season is like slipping away right here, right now. That's what I would be preaching to my teammates during the bye there. Look, man, this shit's slipping away. You don't come out of this bye and play lights out the rest of the way, you guys could be done.
I think they
Yeah.
are kind of overrated though. Like, when have you seen an 8-4 team get so much hype? I mean, have you seen that?
Blows my mind.
Especially with the Steelers starting to kick back, man. I think what Russell Wilson threw for like 400 and some yards today. Maybe that scares them a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully Russ.
And they
'cause
beat
Russ
the
has had our
Bengals,
number. Yeah.
same division.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, watching football, and I've been able to because I was sick last week or the week before. So I was able to watch some games from earlier in the season here. There is no team in this league outside of the Eagles that I'm looking at that I'm like, man. And even the Eagles sometimes I'm like I just don't feel like there's a team out there playing absolutely great football at all times. Like this season feels like it's kind of a down year for the league in general. Like the play is down, and even some of the super like Patrick Mahomes is down. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not seeing it. There's no team out there right now that I'm looking at that I'm like, man, I don't know. Like I'll take the Eagles up against any motherfucking team in this league right now. That's where I'm at.
Hey, now I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Detroit, but like we talked about last time, like they're not. They could have lost the game to the.
They should have lost to the
Bears.
Bears. If they had a competent head coach, like just a competent head coach, doesn't have to be a good coach, just competent.
Just knows anything about anything.
Just anything about time management. Has an eye that can see a clock draining to zero. Call a timeout. There you go. You can kick a long field goal. You're going to overtime. The momentum was on your side. Chances are you guys win.
They don't want to win games because then they don't pick as high. They're trying to build this. I mean, that's why I think they lost on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it. I mean, like you're either like the biggest idiot in the world,
Mhm.
or you're it's an obvious tank.
Yeah, I think it's a tank.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
In
for
other
sure.
news, though, I'll say I give a shout out to our punter. He was dialing them up this game, man. He was 2 punts down below the 5, 1 on the 1 yard line.
He had
Yeah,
enough
Braden,
reps.
man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he had
somebody
enough
we
reps.
never talk about. He looked pretty good today.
Yeah.
Definitely flipped the field a couple times in key spots that we needed. Help the defense out.
Should we take a quick break? Get back in here. Let's do it. We are back. We're back. The Eagles are 10-2. Victory Sunday, which means, does this mean this? I got an IPA, guys. You want me to crack this thing open? A Victory IPA here.
Do it
Pop
up.
it.
All right. Well, if you insist, don't twist my arm. We're gonna drink. This is called Earth Taurus from Common Space Brewery. That's Hawthorne, California. Great brewery. Love their stuff. This is a hazy IPA. It's clocking in at 7% ABV. Like this here. Let's see here. The hops: Simcoe, Cryo. Oh, Cryo Simcoe. I don't know about all that. Mosaic. I don't even know what this means. All right. The grain. John, have you seen them put grain on a can before?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, what is this? Rar pale white wheat malt. Or should we say the Cooper DeJean wheat malt? Let's go. Flaked wheat, flaked oats. Okay, whatever. Let's crack this bad boy. Crack this. Drinking out of the Eagles pint. Yeah. It's not looking as hazy as I was expecting. Let's take a sip of this bad boy. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's amazing. It's an amazing beer. I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a 9.5. That's a 9.5 out of 10. I
Oh.
love it. Yeah, that's great, man. It's not too fruity. It's got a little bit of pininess to it, and that's a 9.5 out of 10. And obviously, I love the alien theme. They got an alien on the can with some tie dye. That's a great freaking beer, guys. We're back. We're back. We're 10-2. I want to take a minute to like step back here just for a second. All right. I don't know when it was, man. Like, what was it? 6 weeks ago. We're talking about the race car, putting the track down, putting it on the track. We're talking about these. Let's stack some wins. We were saying, let's do this. Dallas will be a test. Washington. Then we got the Rams, who's a good team. Then the blah 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 blah. We're 10-2. We swept them all up. The Grim Reapers of the NFL are doing it. I mean, like, right? How's it feel? I mean, how's it feel?
Yeah. The Rivian's looking good.
The Rivian.
It's looking clean.
Hey, it's about to turn into a diesel because people are hearing us coming now.
Yeah,
People are
yeah,
hearing us
that's right.
coming now. This ain't a sports car. This is one of those big trucks. Diesel.
Yeah, with the smokestack.
Just-
I'm gonna get a Rivian with a smokestack. Just start
God.
connecting it out.
Somebody in the back just shoveling coal into a oven.
No, but seriously, guys, we're here. What do we see? Like, where do we see this team? What I mean, like, I don't see us dropping but one, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, looking forward, we probably got the Panthers next week. They've been playing tough, man.
Mhm.
They should have won today. They had a nice game there in Tampa Bay, but they got I think pushed out in overtime there. But obviously it's no cakewalk.
Yeah,
Then we got the Steelers, who
the
you know
Stillers.
said that
Are
earlier.
playing tough.
Wilson, yeah, TJ Watt in the defense is really good. Wilson had a great game today. I think, like I said, he threw for like 400 yards. So
Yeah, and then we go Commanders again, and I'm not sure they're gonna have
Yeah.
much to play for at that point.
they at the moment they are still in a wild card race. They need some things to happen for sure.
That wild
But,
card's tough though, when you got Vikings that are like
Yeah,
could win a division, but you know.
that division has a lot of wins too, though. So until they start knocking each other off.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So I mean, they'll be tough. They're looking to beat us. Then you got
Yeah.
Cowboys and Giants.
Yep.
which is nice because both of those last two games will be at home. Going into
Yeah, but-
Washington, I mean, who the hell knows? Pittsburgh, they don't typically play well in Philly. So that's an advantage to us. So I don't know, man. I honestly, after week 6, or not week 6, it was that Cleveland game. You asked, and I said December 1st, I'll be able to give you a definitive answer one way or the other. What I
Yeah,
feel,
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
what I feel like this team. I feel like if this team isn't in the NFC Championship game, it's a complete and utter failure of a season. And honestly, I think they should be in the Super Bowl. I think this is the team that should be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. I think it's the best team in the league up until this point. As long as we can stay, as healthy as we are right now, honestly, man, this is a Super Bowl team. This is a team that should represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Love
And
it.
I'm just looking forward to that showdown. Like when I made that prediction, I was still kind of scared of the Lions. I am no longer scared of the Lions. I cannot wait, and I hope it happens that we get to meet them in the playoffs. That this showdown, because it's a collision course right now. I hope it shapes out to that's where it at. I don't care where it's at. We'll go into Detroit and fuck them up. I don't care. I'm telling you right now, I'm not scared of the Lions.
Yeah, then we're driving the Ford Mustang right out of Detroit.
That's right.
The Ford Lightning right out of there.
Well, like with Detroit, I feel like they do have a loyal fan base. It's kind of like the Ravens. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, they're just not a scary fan base. I mean, I would be okay going into Detroit knowing that they're like just this beaten down group of people. They're not going to show up. Yeah, they'll be loud, but you know what I mean? There's not going to be anything that's too intimidating, kind of like Baltimore.
Whereas if the tables turn and we squeak out the number one and they have to come to us,
They're not coming. Yeah, that's the worst day of their year.
any team, but especially them, because they don't get me wrong, they're a cold weather team, but they have a dome. They play in a dome. So that takes all their cold credibility away to me. Like, I'm sorry, you're soft. You play in a dome. Like, you don't see Buffalo out here in the middle of the snowstorm playing in a dome. That's a cold weather team. The Philadelphia Eagles, that's a cold weather team. You're going to have to come to Philly, in January?
Yeah.
Hostile as hell environment? The link? Man, I don't know. I think they fold. But I think we're better off, or we're better equipped to go into their jaunt and beat them if we have to.
Yeah. I would liken it to like when Minnesota rolled here, thinking that they were going to see us pound for pound. Nice little Midwestern town. It just got straight to
if Detroit does,
They got
have to
demolished
come
by
here,
the fans too.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, they couldn't. I knew some fans that are Vikings fans that went down to that game. I was like, "You're stupid," and then they came home crying, and I was like, "What did you expect was going to happen, dude? I told you when you went down there what the environment was you're walking into. That you could be beat just for wearing a jersey of the opposing team, man.
Just get beer cans thrown at you.
Yeah, you're going to get heckled, and if you heckle back, they're going to come after you, and put hands and feet on you. So I mean,
burn sticky holes in your jacket.
Sticky
Batteries.
Yeah.
oh man, batteries, chucking batteries.
But to your point, like, I think it is imperative we try and get that first seed. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously you want it, but like, we want this road to go through the link. That was the biggest advantage we had in the 2017 playoffs, or what was it, 2022?
Both.
I hate the bye though. I despise the bye.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just I don't think it would hurt this team as much. Just considering off our bye, we've rattled off 8 straight.
Right.
I mean,
I guess it depends, if there's other injuries or anything too, then we can get a little healthier.
Yeah.
Then I like the bye, but I generally just don't like the bye because I feel like you lose momentum.
Yeah, the Phillies. I know we weren't supposed to talk about them on this podcast.
yeah, that's all right.
But they have soured me on the bye.
Yeah,
And I know it's a
baseball's such
different sport.
momentum sport, though. Yeah, I get what you guys are saying. I don't.
But honestly, I'll take the bye. And if especially like you said, if there's any kind of lingering injuries or any stupid shit like that we need it, that'll be a huge deal. But and it's one less game that you are out there.
Yeah, beating your body.
Possibly getting hurt. And I mean, anything can happen. Possibly losing to some bullshit. I hate that. That's loser mentality. But I mean, anything can happen, and that's one more game. To throw in there that possibility could happen. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think momentum's a big deal. Is if we run the rest of the games here, like if we go,
Could you imagine? Oh my god.
we end with only 2 losses. Honestly, I'll take the bye. I think this team will be locked in, and Sirianni will have them where they need to be.
Man, it could be crazy that like a 2-loss team would play on Wild Card Weekend, right?
Yeah, it could be. If the Lions win out, it will be,
Yeah, and
and
it's
we win
worth,
out.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning we do own the tiebreaker against the Lions, I do believe. So,
Oh, is that right? Nice.
I think it is. I just throw out stats. It's not even. No, I think I read that somewhere. I think it was the Rams. I'm just throwing stuff out there now.
Well, listen,
Not
I got
even-
this. I got this pulled up too. The Lions play the Packers, the Bears again, and where are we at here? Oh wait, yeah. So they play the Packers on Thursday Night Football that coming this week.
God, I
And
hope
then they
they lose.
got Week 15's the Bills. Then they got the Bears. Then the 49ers. Then the Vikings. So they got a pretty tough schedule.
That's a tough schedule. They could easily drop 2.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah, I
going
like
to start
that.
on Wednesday. They're going to lose their first one or Thursday. I'm sorry. against the
Man.
Packers.
Yeah, Packers aren't a joke. Although they kind of are. Yeah, they could easily. Yeah, it's like you said. They're going to start beating up on each other.
Yep.
They have to. Well, boys, should we get out of here? Should we get back to the Sunday Festivus? I'm just gonna
Yes,
keep
sir.
saying that. I'm gonna keep
See
saying
you
that for
Thursday?
Thursday. Yeah, let's do Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else? Anything else from the game? Anything else you wanna say about the Ravens game?
I got nothing. Go Birds.
Go
Oh man,
Birds.
just great win. Keep the momentum rolling. Go Birds.
Well, guys, before we go, Josh Allen is engaged. I just saw. So if anyone cares about that on a football game, football broadcast. All right, guys, let's get out of here. If you want to, write the show, speakingbirds@gmail.com. Otherwise, go Birds. We're 10-2.
Go Birds.